Yes, you can see that
Okay,
now. Yeah.
so this is the chart that I sent before
Yes.
on how to do Git-based collaboration. And um, if I have time, I can record some tutorial, but I'm busy these days. But
No problem.
this is a model of collaboration called fork and pull, which
Okay.
GitHub suggests for open source projects.
Okay.
So this is two parts to it. The first part is on the left, and the second part is on the right. The part on the left, we begin by creating an issue in the GitHub repository you want to contribute to. I have this in dotted lines because it's not essential, but it's sometimes a good idea. So,
Okay.
so I think maybe at this point, why don't you? Um, I will stop sharing my screen. You can start sharing yours, and we can
Okay.
follow the first step here. Um, and in fact, do you have that PDF file that I?
Yes, I have. Let
Okay,
me open it for you.
that way you can refer to it. Yeah, great. Good. Okay, so we're going to do step number one on the left to create an
Okay.
issue. So why don't you go ahead and do that just for exercise? Go to the issues tab and click on it. It's it's within right where you were before in the.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. One second. I'll just so like a separate folder. One.
Yes. Okay.
Mm, yeah.
Okay.
So
Good.
first thing,
So
I'll
create a new issue,
yeah.
which is number one. So right there on the left where it says issues,
Yes.
right there, click there, and then click new issue,
Mm,
and you can call this. Uh, let's see. Maybe uh, add. You can just call this update README. How about that? We'll just do that. Great. And
okay.
then you can put a description. I want to add some content to your README file, and just click submit new issue. And you can see when you create an issue, you can use Markdown and formatting and everything. So now
Yeah.
I will see that issue on my side, and you can I will just respond to it. I think this is a good idea. Why don't you open a pull request? So I'll comment on it, right? And
Right.
then we both decide, oh, this is a good thing to do. What this does is it prevents it saves people from doing work that may not be accepted. First you have a conversation
Okay.
with the owner, and then you both agree, oh yeah, this is a good idea, and then the owner can, is you can ask the owner, are you open to receiving a pull request? And they say, oh yes, go ahead. And you can even talk about how you want to define the issue, whether it's a
Okay.
bug fix or a new feature, you know. And I have experience also contributing to a Microsoft repository,
Okay.
believe it or not. So I contributed to the Entity Framework Core
Mm-hmm.
repository, a couple of things, couple of pull requests, and it's a great experience because you have this discussion with the members of the team, about
Yes.
how to
True.
solve a certain problem or something.
Yeah.
It's great. So I love it. So then the next step in the chart is to fork it. Now to fork the repository, you have to click the fork button there in the upper right hand corner,
Yes.
right there. And if you're
Right.
signed into GitHub, it will create a copy of that in your own repository, as you can see right here.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, Then the third step would be to clone the fork, which we've done before. So this should be easy. You copy the clone URL,
One
and
second.
yes,
I have to click on this one, right? Yeah.
yes, that's right. And you can click that little button to the right, the little clipboard button right there. Yeah, just click that button and it copies it for you. That's all.
Okay.
Yep, does the same thing. Now you need to open a command prompt and pick a place on your um, computer where to clone the repository. So what you want to do is a command prompt. So you want to do you want to no, don't use the GitHub desktop,
No,
but
it's not Git.
or the
Git
bash. You want to use, yeah, the
hash.
bash might work, or you can just use the regular command prompt as well. Doesn't matter. Bash is a good command prompt to use. Yeah, there you are. Let's see. And uh, yeah, this might have some problems. So instead of using, well, tell you what, I would just use a regular command prompt,
Okay.
and then you can, although bash is nice too, but this is good. Okay, good. So this one is the best. And then you want to find a place, a directory where you can create this project. So maybe you have a directory already that
Already.
contains
Yes.
source or projects, maybe something like that.
I have that already in documents in this one.
Ah, good. Okay, GitHub. So go ahead and CD into that from your command prompt, documents GitHub.
CD documents, CD GitHub. Yeah.
Good. Now you type git clone and then paste the URL, and that should do it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
one.
click. Yeah.
Yes. Great. Great. So as soon as you have cloned it, now you cd into the directory, cd into sample.forkful, because it's now created a directory there. Sample, yep. And hit the tab key. Yeah, perfect. Now you're there, and now you want to create a branch. And do this with the um, git branch command.
Branch.
And now type the name of your
That's
branch.
only one
So,
word right
oh,
now.
not right, exactly. Now it's type git branch space, and you want to add the name of a feature branch that you can use. For example, update dash readme might be the good name. Oh, I meant, yeah, with a hyphen. Yeah, that's good. Either way, anything you want. It doesn't even matter what the name is, but that sounds good. Something that will indicate to you the feature that you're working on.
Yes.
Then hit enter, and let's see if that creates the branch. Now type git checkout update underscore readme. Let's see if that works.
Yeah.
Yes, you're there.
Yes.
So you're now on that branch.
Right.
So if you've installed Visual, now this brings us up to step number 4 in the flowchart.
Okay.
So
Visual.
you can see what we've done is we created an issue, forked the repository, cloned the fork, and created a feature branch.
Right.
All right. Now we want to go to number 5, and for that we need a good editor. My recommendation is Visual Studio Code for simple text files like this. And if what you can do is go back to the command line. I would and type code space period, and it will open up Visual Studio Code at that location.
Okay.
There you are. And there
I'll
you are.
do one.
Yeah, you can close the others. Okay, Maybe make that window a little bigger. And this is our README file. And you
Yeah.
should be able to see in the lower left-hand corner where it says Update README. That's
Yes.
the name of your branch, you see?
Yes.
And you can
Yes.
switch to other branches. So if you click on Update README down there, you can switch to if you click on the word right there, yeah, you can switch to master. You can see in the middle, or you
Right.
can stay at the current branch and also other branches as well that are there. So it already has an origin. It's just and the remote, but it's yeah, we're right now in this branch. So now let's change the file. Let's add some content to it. So you can maybe create a numbered list of items. Item one, item two, item three, something like that. And then now in if you press Control Shift V, it should show a preview of the README file to your right. There it is. See? Then
Yes.
I so now if you want to make these numbered items, you can do other things. But let's keep them the way they are. Let's save the README file
Okay.
and just highlight it on the click on the tab. Yep, and then say, and you can now uh, try it again. Now go ahead and click on that button. Now click. You're there. This see that little disk icon, this one in the middle to the right. Go right there. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes.
right there. That'll work. Or Control S. So it'll work.
Yeah.
So you've
Yes.
saved it.
Yes.
And now you see on the left-hand side, the second icon has a one next to it. That is the
Pending
source code
changes.
control. Yeah, click on that, and you'll see it lists that it says that you've changed the README file. You click on the README file there, click on that, and you'll see the difference between the original and yours.
Yes.
Isn't that nice? Now, the thing about this is that you've made changes to the file, but in a sense, Git is not actually tracking those changes yet. In order to commit the changes, you first need to stage them. And we
Okay.
can do this from the command line. And this is our git add command. You simply type git add, and now you can put types readme.md, and that will be the file that you want to stage. And you can stage one file or more than one if you have multiple. Just hit enter, and that will now add it to the staging area. And now on Visual Studio Code, things should look a little differently. Those should now be staged changes. Let's see. Yeah, they're there. It's modified, but it's now ready to be staged. I thought it should be staged. Yeah, it's strange that it's not. It doesn't look like it. So go back to the command line again and type git status, and git status will tell you the state of everything. Oh, you know why? Because
Not.
you didn't capitalize the README. I think it's case sensitive. Try it again. Git add, and then no, all capitals. As you can see how it's done. you know,
Add is capital or readme file
you
name.
you can see it in Visual Studio Code.
Right. 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 Sorry. Yeah.
Exactly. hmm Now try that. Now type git status, and
Yes.
now it
Modify.
changed. You see, it went from modified um,
Okay.
to ready to be committed. That's
Right.
staged.
Yes.
Yes. And now if you click into Visual Studio Code, it should update, hopefully. And you should now you see it's updating. There we go. Now it puts it in the stage changes.
Yes.
So this is a fundamental idea in Git, which the idea is you don't make changes and they're automatically tracked. You have to tell Git what files you want to track,
Okay.
and then and then when you're ready to commit, you can commit the change. But normally you can't commit changes until they're staged.
Okay.
Is that those two steps usually are needed? So now go ahead and commit the change. So go back to the terminal. We'll do this on the command line and type git commit and then space dash m hyphen m.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then space and then in quotes you can put a message and you could say add items to readme. You okay? You want the message to be descriptive and you want it to be in the present tense.
Okay.
So we click, now hit enter, and that will commit your change.
Okay.
Now you have one file changed. Now
Yeah.
type git status again, and you'll see that the changes have been committed. Okay, right?
Yes.
Now we can look at the log. We can say git log and hit enter. Just see how that looks, and you'll see it should show one commit.
Yes.
There it is. Now that's because you're on the master branch for some reason. No, no, are you? No. Oh no, no, you're
Oh,
not. You're on the correct branch. So it's both
yes.
commits. The first commit was to master. That was me, and the second commit is yours. Yep,
Yeah.
that's perfect. Yep.
Yes.
And then you can even show the log a little differently. You can type git log space pretty pretty equals one dash line. Spell out one WONE. I mean ONE
One
dash line.
online. No.
Did that work? Uh, uh,
Even actually.
it's the wrong command. I keep forgetting. No, no dash. Take the dash out. Just one line, all one word.
Yeah.
Uh, let me hang on. Let
Double
me.
line.
I forget. So hang on. I have to look it up. Git log pretty one line. Okay. It is. Oh, it's two dash. Okay, you need two dashes in front of pretty.
Okay.
So
Equal to one,
no,
right?
no,
One.
no, no, no. Here, I'll type it in the window.
Sorry.
It's pretty easy. And if we go now to my window, where's my chat? Oh, here it is. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you got
Fair.
it. Perfect. All right. So now you can see it all on one line. Each commit is on one line. A little bit easier to read this way.
Yeah.
You notice the yellow number on the left. Uh,
Yes.
that's the that's the commit ID.
Okay.
And the commit ID is created using a hash of the contents of the files that are
Okay.
committed at that point in time, as well as a reference to the parent commit.
Okay.
So every time you commit, it creates a unique ID. So so that's important. So now that you've done that, you need to now, if you go back to the chart, uh, number 6 is to push your branch.
Yes.
So the way you do this is you type git push.
Good push.
I think it's dash u
Hmm.
space origin space I think and then the name of your branch, which is I think update readme update underscore readme. Yes, try that. Did it work?
He's asking for user ID password, username and password.
Oh yeah, that's it. Mhm. Perfect.
Okay.
Try again. This is your GitHub
I think password
username and
is
password.
yeah.
There you go.
Sorry, I typed it wrong previous.
Yes, it worked.
Yes, it worked.
Okay, so that is number six.
Git
Number
push
six.
hyphen. Okay,
Okay. Step seven is to create a pull request.
pull
So
request.
go back to your fork on the web, and you should see now that yellow line in the middle, and see where it says
Yes.
compare and pull request. That's where you
Okay.
create the pull request. You probably know already.
Yes. Able to.
And yep, well, you can write a description if you want to, but you don't have to. And
Mm.
then you create the pull request, and that is a request. Now, if you notice above, well, in that prior screen, you'll see in the recording, you're requesting that to merge your branch
Mm.
in your repository to the master branch in my repository.
Right.
And in fact, now you notice the screen you're looking at is not your repository anymore. It's not your fork. It's the
Yes.
original repository.
Yeah. Yes.
So it magically appears in my repository, even though the branch you pushed was on your repository.
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense, but they're kind of tied together.
Yes.
Okay, so now I get to comment on your pull requests.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back to pull request. I see there's one there. It's
Mm-hmm.
open. I will open it on my end, and I will add a comment to it. And let's see. And the way I can do that is, in fact, maybe what I'll do is start sharing my screen. Let me
Yeah.
see. Uh, oh, I have to. I don't know if I can share
I
my.
think.
I thought I.
Wait.
Let's see if I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if I can share my screen. Here we go. Oh, you know what? I have to set a permission on my for recording. Hang on.
Okay. Okay.
Go to Mac, System Preferences, Security. Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Uh, and then screen recording. Here it is. Oh, okay. Well, bear with me one moment while I give myself permission to record the screen. Oh, I thought I did that. Well, if I can't share now, I'll work on it later. But let
Mm-hmm.
me try it one more time. Now, system security, access to Skype. I thought I did. Uh,
Yeah. You did that already. Right?
okay. Oh, I have. It's going to want me to. I have to request. So that's okay. You can share your screen once again. I'll go
Yeah.
ahead and just comment on the pull request from my end. I was going to show what I was going to show is I can make a comment by going into the changed files,
Okay.
and so go back to here. I'll show you. So where it says changed files, you can go into there. Files changed.
Okay.
See it in the middle. You
Yes.
can click on files changed in the middle
Right.
of your web page.
Only those.
No, up at the top, right to the right there. Yep. Now you can see what files are changed and the changes. And so I'm going to you can put a comment on a specific line of code either, and we can respond to it. So stay right there. I'm going to put a comment here, and I'm going to
Mhm.
say something like, I'll put a comment, please, these should be numbered. Wait, in one moment. And I will add a single comment, and you should now see it. If you refresh your screen, you will see, refresh the browser, press F5 to refresh. There you go. And now you'll see my comment. There it is.
Okay.
Oh,
Monthly.
and now you can do multi-line comments if you want as well. It's telling us. Okay,
Oh,
that's good to know. In fact, that's probably what I should have done as a multi-line comment. So why don't you can reply to this. You can, in the reply box, keep going right there. Yeah, type, you can say, oh, good idea or whatever, uh, something like that, and click. Now you can add a single comment or start a review. Let's, start a review, why don't we? Click the green button. Mhm. And now now what this means is that as long as this conversation is pending, we're
Yes.
continuing the conversation. Uh,
Yes.
we can go back and forth, and then at some point, one of us decides we want to resolve the conversation, and
Right.
and keep it resolved. But I'll just go ahead and reply to your. Uh, I'll reply to your comment.
Okay.
Let's see if I can refresh my. Oh, this. And let me see if I can see it here. I don't. It's not coming through for me. Huh. That's interesting. I can't. Oh, it's because yours says pending. Go
Right.
ahead and go ahead and click resolve conversation. That way I can maybe
Okay.
see
Once I have,
it.
yeah.
I don't know why.
Show,
And then it was
it's showing
okay.
pending.
Oh, you know why? Uh, maybe the comment didn't go through because of your internet connection or something. That's okay.
Okay. Have
Don't worry
update.
about it. Yeah, show conversation. Uh, yeah, for some reason that comment it did not go through. So,
Mhm.
but that's okay. Don't worry about it. The
Mhm.
point is that we can make comments, and now we've both decided it's a good idea for you to add numbering. So now you
Okay.
go back to Visual Studio Code, and you can make another change.
Right.
So in front on line 4, type a 1 period space at the beginning of the line. Line number 4,
Mm-hmm.
in the very first character, 1, the numeral 1,
Can
period,
you
and a
read
space.
only later 1 second now? It is
Oh, close that one. That's just the difference. You can close that window and that one keep open. Go to that one. Yep, we edit and now line 4, 1 period space, and do the same on the other line. Just 1 period. You can even do 1 period on each of them.
okay.
Not 2, but 1. Try just 1. And the nice part about this in Markdown is it automatically numbers it. Okay. Now go to the preview, and you'll see you now have numbered
Oh,
items.
okay. Oh, okay.
Not
This
bad.
has that HTML formatting.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So we now, you can save this, and then we'll do the same thing. We'll stage and commit. Now you can stage and commit it through Visual Studio Code if you want. You can go here and where it says changes, click the plus sign.
Okay.
See, right there. Yeah, and that will stage that file. And this is nice because if you have 2 or 3 files, you might not want to commit all of them at the same time. You
Okay.
want to stage whichever one you want to commit, and then when you commit changes, it will only commit what you've staged. So
Yes.
now in the message, you can click in the message box. You can also unstage if you want. Yep. But see where it says message up there, a little higher,
Okay. Yeah.
right there. And now you enter your commit message, and you can say, number the items, and it should be present tense. Yep. And then now you can click the check mark to commit. There you go. And now you want to push it. And to push it through Visual Studio Code, go to the bottom left of the screen and see the little, no, yeah, see the little circle? Click that.
Yes.
And to the, this will push and pull commits. Yep, that's what we want to do. Click OK.
Yes.
And now it should be pushed to the pull request. Now go to the pull request and click on conversation. No, you go back to the web. You're at, click on conversation. the upper left, or right below the open button
Yes.
on the left, conversation one. There you go. And now you can see you have the second commit. So if you oh, this is your review. Go ahead and uh,
Submit.
go ahead and submit
Mm,
review. That's fine. A review is a more formal process, but we don't have to use it. We can just use comments. But now, if you refresh your web page, you should see two commits. So click
okay.
the little. Mhm. Hopefully, let's go to
Confirm.
commits, and we don't. Let me check my site. Uh,
It's still happening actually.
oh, it's still happening. Okay, that's because of the internet issue. Okay,
Right.
so that may be what's going on. Oh, you know why? Because it's prompting for your username. See where it says username in the middle of the screen? No, no, in
Yeah.
Visual Studio Code. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
enter your username and password. Yep, that will let you push changes from Visual Studio Code.
Yes. Done.
Now go back to the web, and you should see both commits.
Yes. Internet
There you
side.
are.
Yes.
Perfect.
Download. There. Okay.
Okay. So that's um, the review process. If you go back to the flow chart, I can show you where we are.
Mhm.
We are now at number 8 and 9 and 10. So we
Yes.
did all of those three right
Yes.
now. We're reviewing it, having comments back and forth. Every time you make a change, maybe I'll make some suggestion or you'll make a change on your own.
Right.
Let's add one more item to the list.
Mhm.
And let me, in fact, I'll make a comment as well.
Mhm.
The file changed. Um, and I'm going to try to add, I'll say, let's make this 4 items. All right, and I'll go ahead and add a single comment. And now you should see that in the uh, web. Okay. Go ahead and click conversation on the left,
Mm,
or files changed, either way. The conversation's good. And you can see it even shows the code where I made the comment. And so, yeah, exactly.
right.
And what's nice is this. This is good. Yeah, you can. These can be very rich. Yeah, press comment, and that's all you have to do. And then let's not worry about resolving. Let's go back and to Visual Studio Code and make this last commit. So,
Yes.
you save the file. You press the plus sign. Yep, to stage it. Once it's staged, now you type your message. And then press the checkbox.
Mhm.
And then you can push it. Now, you see that little arrow at the bottom to the right? Go to the right a little bit. Right there. That's it. Yeah, right there. Try that one.
All right.
That's just going to push, I think. Push and pull. Okay, it's fine. Doesn't matter where you click there. It'll do both. And now it will.
So that you.
It should work. Oh,
Yeah.
username and password. Yeah, it's going to prompt you every time.
Right.
If you want to avoid doing that, you can
Mhm.
use SSH and provide a
Okay.
key.
Okay.
stuff like that. All right, or there might be a setting in Visual Studio Code that remembers your password.
Okay.
Either way, it's now pushed.
That
We
is
go back
done.
to the web. Yep,
Yeah.
and then I will say I will resolve the conversation. Let's see here. In fact, I'll put it like so, and now we're satisfied that that's done. So once we've done all that, we are
Mm-hmm.
now ready to go to the top of the chart. Uh, so if you go back to the chart, you see at the top of the page on the right, owner approves the PR. That's me. It's my job.
Right. Yes.
So I will say, I'll go to the conversation, and I will just, and the way I do that is I will just say, this looks good. Let's uh, let's ship it. Um, and then I want to say, go ahead and squash your commits. Okay. Hang on. I'm going to type that and press the comment. So now in the conversation at the bottom, you should see my last comment, which says, it looks good. Let's ship it. Go ahead and squash your commits. So the next
Okay.
stage is it's optional to do this, but I think it's a good thing to learn, is how
Okay.
to take the three commits that you submitted in your PR and make them just one commit.
Okay.
And that's useful sometimes because a lot of times, we're committing very often our code as we're making changes, but then, and then we have a history that with full of all these changes when you're really only doing one thing, in this pull request. So you can simplify your commit messages, you can combine them, and you do that through something called interactive rebase.
Okay.
And that one I will show you very quickly. I don't know how you're doing on time, but so if I Google uh, get interactive rebase, there's a very nice tutorial
Mm-hmm.
on this from Get Ready. I'll put the URL into the chat window.
Okay.
There it is. And this talks to you about how do you squash commits, right?
Okay.
Now, the issue with there's one thing I would like to do before we start this process, and that's to configure uh, uh, Git editor,
Okay.
use Visual Studio Code, and that
Okay.
will make your life much easier. And I'm bringing the link here on how to do that.
Sure.
I will also paste this into the window if it comes up.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so here it is. So I'm going to paste this for you. Okay, so this last link is coming. This one. This one you should do first. This blog.
Yeah. Okay.
Click on that, and you'll see it. There's a command that you can execute in order to make Visual Studio Code your default editor, text editor for Git.
Okay.
And scroll down, and the line of code you're going to need, it says on Windows. Uh, Here we go. Uh, uh, okay. Uh, After setting an issue, then okay. I think you have to copy this line of code: git config global core editor, the one that ends with wait, not that one, but the first one right there, and see if you can paste that into the command line, and it will hopefully work for you. Okay. Now, once you've done that, it should work for you. Yeah.
Okay.
So now all we have to do is do the interactive Git. So let's go back to the other tab or the other link that I pasted, which is get ready, squashing commits. And the way you do this is through interactive Rebase.
Right.
Uh, so you can see from this article that he has he wants to squash 4 commits.
Right.
And so the way that's done is with this get rebase I head 4 command, and you want to squash 3 commits. So you're going to say that you're going to enter that command line, but it's going to be with the tilde 3.
Okay.
So let's go uh, to the command line, and you can do that. No, not
I
4,
just
3. You copied. Now,
I just
um,
had 3, right?
um, yeah, no. That 3. There we go. Let's see if that works. Yes, it worked. Isn't that nice? Now you've got Visual Studio Code, and you're
Yeah.
seeing the same thing. So if you read the commented text, it tells you how to squash the commits.
Right.
And what you want to do is take this. You want to leave the first line the same.
Mm.
The second line, not line 2, take out pick and
Mm.
replace the word pick with like an S or with the word squash.
In this one, you are these are comments, right? So you want me to make it
Okay.
one?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, type squash. And the same with the line 3.
Okay.
Okay. And then on that first line, you can change the commit message. Let's say add numbered items. So instead of yeah, just say numbered, and that way you're able to. And let's say add 4 numbered items. How about that? So we can basically summarize the commits just like that.
Mm.
Now you can save the file. Control S.
Right.
Close the file. Just click the little X. And now go back to the command line. Whoop, the command line. Oh no, now here we are. And now it's, oh, you know what? I was mistaken. You don't change the message there, you change it here. So now that first message, type add 4 numbered items. Okay. And then the second item here on line 8, put a £sign in front of it, a hash on the beginning, and that will comment it out. Hmm? The number sign if you can do it, and the same and a space, and then followed by yeah, the same for line 12, and you'll see that will comment that line out. Now save that and close it, and this will consolidate the messages.
Okay.
Now go back to the command line, and you will see it's completed. Now you type the git log pretty equals 1 line. Log. Okay. Mhm. And you'll see you now have 2 commits, my initial commit and your single commit.
Yeah. 4. Yes. Okay. They have all 3 combined into one commit.
Yes. And yes, exactly. And the important thing is you have a new commit ID as well. That number
Right.
to the left is a new one that's generated because you changed
Yes.
things. That's called rewriting history. Now, the problem is because you have a new commit ID, you cannot just do git push. It won't work.
Okay. Okay.
You have to say git push dash dash force,
Okay.
and that
Git
will
push.
send it up. Yes, and hit enter, and then you'll see it will. It may prompt you. Yep, username and password. And try again. Didn't
Sorry.
work. Just use your up arrow. There you
Yeah. My type of keyboard is not proper actually.
go. Yeah, one more time. Maybe the third time will be the best.
Okay, so slow. Yeah. Now counting on just three. Yeah.
Congratulations. Okay.
Thank
Now
you.
go back to the website and you'll see that it is that the history has changed. So let's refresh that and scroll down, and you'll see now you see you have a force push, and you can see it there. And if you scroll up, you'll see the commits is only one. See how
Yeah.
that, and it's consolidated, and you can click on that commit, and you'll see the change
Comment. Okay.
that you made, right?
Yeah. All three are added actually. The
Yeah, yeah, and we
master.
still have the conversation. So it's a nice way to do that. That's number 12 on the and 13. So go back to the chart one more time. You'll see
Mm-hmm.
now we are at,
Push.
we did we did both of those. We did 11, 12, 13, and now 14. Or the now the we have to find out, are there upstream changes? What that means is have I made changes to the master branch,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if I have, then it's a little more complicated on the right. You have to
Right.
sync the upstream, right? Like we did
Yeah.
before, and resolve conflicts. If I
Yes.
have not, which in this case I haven't, I can just merge the PR. So at this point, there's nothing else you need to do. It's
Mm-hmm.
up to me to merge the PR, and
Okay.
I can do that. Let's see here on my end,
Mm-hmm.
and and so if go back to the website once again. I'm doing 14A currently,
Mm-hmm.
and go to the conversation. Okay, okay. Now scroll down. Now it says it's ready to be merged, right? Only those with right access. So that's this, because I'm the owner, I'm the only one who can merge it. On my screen, there's a big merge pull request button that you don't see on your screen. So I'm
Okay.
going to go ahead and click it,
Mm-hmm.
and I will confirm the merge.
Okay.
And in just a moment,
To
now
request.
you see it. It's been merged
Okay.
and closed.
Yeah.
See how that works? Now you can delete the branch, the remote branch. So go ahead and click delete branch.
Okay.
That's not deleting your local branch. That's just deleting the branch, the remote branch on your repository, on your fork.
Okay.
Um, but if you go back to the flow chart again, uh, we are now at we did 14A. Now we're at 15A, sync upstream, right? So
Okay.
let me, and then we have to force first master and delete the feature branch.
Right.
So what this is telling us, if you go back to Visual Studio Code, I'll show you where we are. Now, see in the lower left-hand corner, you're currently on the README update, right? Update README.
Yes.
Switch to master, and you see it's not there.
Yes.
And if you
Okay.
were, if now if you click the little circle on the left next to master, is yeah, you can click OK, But you'll see really when it's finished, nothing happens, right? And the
Yeah.
reason is because the master on your fork is now
Mm-hmm.
out of sync with the master on the original repository.
Right.
Make sense? So
Yes.
for that reason, we have to now sync the upstream, right? And that requires two steps.
Okay.
I'm going to open up my original tutorial. One moment. And I will see, because I have some steps there for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And if we, where are we? Okay, so the first thing you have to do is configure a remote. So you need to go to the command line
Mm-hmm.
and type git remote dash v. That's it. Now you can see you only have origin. You do not have, you haven't added the remote. So you need to
Yes.
add the remote. Now this is a little tricky.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get the URL for the upstream repository, for my repository.
Right.
So now you're currently seeing it right there. So go back to the window and scroll to the top and go to the code uh, there and go to the clone or download button on the right, the green clone, yep, and then click that, yep, and copy. Click that
This
little
one
copy
is.
button. Yeah, click the copy button. That's all you have to do. So you're copying the URL of the original repository. Now what
This
you
is
have to do is type git remote add upstream.
one.
Oh,
One
oh yeah,
second. Sorry.
question? Sure.
This is cloning from my repository, right?
No, this is mine. No, that's yours. That's right. That is yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go to mine. There
Yeah.
you go. Oh, you're right. I missed it.
Okay. I have copied it.
Good catch. Now you type git
Okay.
remote add upstream and then paste, space bar, and then paste. Yep. Right click to paste. There you go. And enter. Go ahead and hit enter. Yep. And now you need to type git remote v. Yep. And now you see upstream has been added.
Yes.
Nice. And so the origin is pointing to your repository, the fork.
Right.
The
Yes.
upstream is pointing to mine. So that's pretty good. And now you need to do two things. Git fetch upstream. Okay. Hit enter. Now you need to move to the master branch if you're not there already. Git
Mhm.
checkout master. You're already there, but this is good for the recording. Okay, great. And then the next is git merge upstream / master. / yep, got it. And now it's there. Now you type git log pretty one line. And you will see on the master branch, now you have both commits. Isn't that nice?
Yes.
Now go back to
Yes.
Visual Studio Code and you should see the change. And there you are. The items are there now, even though you're
Yes.
in the master branch. Now
Yeah.
you notice that you're now out of sync though with your upstream, right? So if you go back to the web for a second, and you'll notice that go back to your fork. Okay, hit the no. Hit the backspace button on your browser. Yep, right up there. Okay, now you're on your fork, and now click README, and you'll see the change is not there yet, right? This is your copy. Your fork does not have the change. You have to push it. So you go back to Visual Studio Code and click the little push, little
I
sync button on the bottom, or you could
have
do a,
put
or
it
you could
right.
do, yeah, right there, and that will push. Yep, and we
Push.
say okay, and then as soon as that's done, it will show it's still working.
Mm-hmm.
You
It's
need to,
asking.
yeah, this could get a little old after a while. Yeah,
sorry.
Let's see if this works. And let's see if it's happy. Yes. So now refresh and voila.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, so that's pretty good. Now back in the flow chart, one more thing. So you'll see we sync the upstring, we push to master. We didn't have to force push, but we just pushed. And then the last one, 17A, is to delete the feature branch.
Yes.
And you can do this from from the command line. And you want to type from the command line git branch branch dash d small d space update underscore readme. That's your branch name.
Delete.
And it deleted it. And now you can type git branch and hit enter, and you're only going to see one branch, which is your master. And
Yes.
now you're ready for another pull request.
Yes. It's true. Good.
So that's pretty good. That's
Yeah.
that's probably a good place to stop today because I think we went through the whole process
Yeah.
without upstream changes.
Yeah.
Upstream changes and resolving complex is more complicated, but this is probably a good place to stop for tonight for you, not to keep you up too late.
Yeah. No problem. I'll try to do it again actually. So that
Yes, and you have the recording,
yes.
so you can stop the recording probably, and then it's 1 hour, so you can always review it and make notes, and
I'll
you
make
should
notes
not
so
be
I won't forget the commands. Yeah.
good. Well, I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. And oh, and one more thing before we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to the web for a second. I'm going to show you. Go scroll up and or go to my repository. That one. Yeah. And then click on simple MVVM. There's the first link to the left. Yep. And you'll see I have a bunch of repositories.
Right.
Let's take a look very quick at the WPF core sample that we were working on.
Right.
And you'll see here, I made a lot of changes here.
Yes.
If you go to pull requests, right there, look at closed pull requests.
Okay.
See where it says 8 closed? Yep.
Yes.
And now you can see the history of pull requests, right? All yours are there, and mine are there too. So I see the ones that says add classes, add
Right.
DI, and reorganize files. The first one
Yes.
I did was to reorganize the files. And that one, the problem there was that I wanted the project in a separate folder than the
Okay.
solution.
Okay.
So that's what I did on that one. You can click on it just to have a quick look. You'll see. And you'll see, like, if you go to files changed, you see I changed a lot of files. Everything's changed because I just moved everything.
Right.
That's
Okay.
all.
Patient.
Okay. So everything's moved. So let's go back. Hit the back button on your browser and click back one more time. And now go to the next one, add DI. This one is a good one. Here I add the dependency injection. Go to, yeah, there. And you'll see what I did. If you go down, you'll see here it says right there, there's the app class. See how I
Right.
added service provider?
Yes.
And then I added that code to create a new service collection, initialize the service provider.
Yes.
And then I added the main window and I show it. And then in configure services, I'm just adding a singleton for the main window.
Mm.
And that's how you add DI to the to it. And scroll
Okay.
down a little bit more, and you'll see down here in the main window, I don't think I'm doing much of anything. I just cleaned up the namespaces. I just added this package here, which is the dependency injection package, yeah, on
Yeah,
line
right.
10. So that's how you add DI. Let's go back, hit the browser button back again, and we'll take a look at the last PR, one more, which is add classes. So the classes were missing. So I added classes. Yeah, let's take a look. And you'll see I added, scroll down a little bit further, that app.xaml. Yeah, here it is. This one you see, I'm adding this service provider. I just did a little refactoring there. That's nothing. And down here you see I'm registering now iCustomer service
Yeah.
online. Yeah, right there. The view models I'm adding and the view.
Okay.
New window.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and added all of that. You'll see how I configure the XAML looks like for the main window.
Yes.
You'll see if you scroll down a little bit further, this one right here. You see there's a constructor,
Yes.
and I added two parameters. Yeah, the customer view and the view model
View.
for the main page. Yep.
Yes.
And you see I'm setting the context of the view model, and I'm adding the customer view as a child
Yeah.
of the panel.
Right.
So that's how I approach that. And then you can see there's the view model. There's the customer class. You can see it's all there. There's the customer service,
Yes.
and there's all of that implementation. And you keep going. There's the customer view model. See how
Right.
it ejects the service and all of that. And the same with the main page view model.
Yeah.
So those are the changes that I did.
Right.
What I'm going to suggest is there's another. You can take a look at these and make sure you can build it and run it and familiarize yourself with it. And then there's
O-
another project called messaging, I think, which also needs to be ported to .NET Core.
Okay.
So if you go to simple MVVM and you look there, it's messaging right there. This
Yeah.
one, yeah. That one is another good one. It's also WPFF,
Okay.
and it can be ported to .NET Core just like the other one.
Okay.
So if you want, you can do the same thing. I'll create a
Yeah.
repository for you, and you can
Yeah.
then have fun with it.
Yeah. Sure.
so so I'll do that right now,
Okay.
and we'll see if that. And then you can do the same thing, fork and all that stuff, just like we practice. Let me just create it right now as we are. Uh, so I'll just create an empty. I'll put like a README file in there and
Mm-hmm.
just create the repository.
Okay.
And now should be able to refresh your screen and so you'll see it
Yes.
right there. Yep, there it is. Empty and ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay,
Super. Sure.
so there you go.
I can take a pull out of this, right?
Yeah, you go well. What you're not going to clone this. Remember, you're going to go back. You're going to fork it, right,
Yes.
and then clone the fork. And so you go through the same procedure that we just went through in our little lesson.
Yes.
All right, exactly.
I have to create a folder. I'll create a folder of then I'll create a
Exactly.
branch. Then I'll clone. I'll clone it. Then I'll go to that branch. Create the branch. Get
Yeah,
into your. I'll
just
modify it.
type git clone and paste the URL and yeah, and now once you do this enough times, it'll be very natural. And now you CD into it. No, CD into it first.
Sorry.
No problem. And then you might want to. Yep, there it is. And now you do your Git branch, and you can just say something like add code or something like that, or add project maybe.
Yeah.
I would suggest making it all lowercase. Yeah,
Okay.
and hyphens in between each word.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Just make it very simple. 3 words is enough, and that's it. And then and now you're ready to go. There you go. Perfect. And you'll see it right there. Voila. Okay. So I am going to have to go now, I guess. So, but thank you for your time, and
So
we'll catch up with you later.
I'll I'll update the project into core and then I'll try to push it.
Yeah, and when you create it, make sure you put the project in a separate folder than the solution.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then you also need to add a get ignore file to it.
Okay.
Let me tell you how to do that real quick. Go back to Visual Studio Code for a second.
Yeah.
Go to extensions, the last button on the left, that one. Yeah, type get ignore, ignore. And the one you want is not yet, hang on. You want something that's like add get ignore. Which one is it? Let me check my configuration real quick,
Yeah.
and I'll let you know here. The one I have is get ignore language support for get ignore files. It's the first one, I think. Yeah, it's the first one. Just install that.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. And then once it's installed, I'll show you how to use it. Type Control Shift P. This will open up the command palette. Type, yeah, add, get, ignore, get that first one. Just select it. Just click on add, get, ignore, the first one, or hit enter, either one. And now type Visual Studio and
Mhm.
hit the first one. Not the, yeah, the first one. Yeah, that's it. And now take a look at the left, and you'll see that one file. Yeah.
Mm,
And now you want to stage that change. Click the
mm.
plus sign, and then under the message, just say add, get, ignore, and enter. And that's then that and control enter. I think it is. Does it?
Yeah. Check mark.
There you go. Your first commit. So, my pleasure. All right. Have a good night, and I will.